Good. Happy Thursday morning, May 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Thursday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. It's time to rise and shine and get this Thursday off to a good start. So sit back, relax, grab that good cup of coffee, and enjoy this Thursday morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. So, let's get started. Happy Thursday, and welcome to May 2021. Let's begin. I hope you all enjoy. First up, Trump Organization under criminal investigation. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The pressure mounting, meanwhile, on former President Trump tonight and on the Trump Organization, New York's Attorney General overnight revealing that their probe is also now a criminal one. So what does this mean? What changed? Tonight, the former president now responding, and here's our chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
Pressure on Donald Trump is growing tonight after New York Attorney General Letitia James announced her civil investigation into his business is now also a criminal probe. James released a statement saying, "We are now actively investigating the Trump Organization in a criminal capacity." Her team is now working with the Manhattan District Attorney, who won a Supreme Court battle to get access to Trump's tax returns and other financial records. Lawyers and accountants have been poring over thousands of pages of documents. The investigations began long before Trump left the White House.
The prosecutors in New York are out of control. They're out of control.
Full extent of the investigation is not known, but one area of inquiry is whether Trump manipulated the values of his properties to obtain loans and to minimize his taxes. The New York Attorney General has interviewed his son Eric, who now runs the Trump Organization. Trump has long said it's all political.
These same people that failed to get me in Washington have sent every piece of information to New York so that they can try to get me there.
And today, Trump reacted to the latest development with a lengthy written statement, calling the investigation a political and partisan witch hunt, adding, "There is nothing more corrupt than an investigation that is in desperate search of a crime." That is exactly what is happening here.
John Karl with us tonight. John, bottom line, what should we make of this announcement from the New York State Attorney General that her investigation is also now a criminal one?
Well, David, the Attorney General gave no indication as to why she has now turned this into a criminal investigation. But perhaps the most significant aspect of her announcement is that she said she is now working with the Manhattan DA. That means the two most powerful prosecutors in New York have now teamed up to investigate the Trump Organization. And remember, a civil investigation can result in fines. A criminal investigation can result in prison time.
John Karl with us tonight. John, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. House approves January 6th commission bill. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Phone it into 1-800-FARMERS to get policy perks like a home and auto bundle discount.
I'm phoning it in. Just save 20%.
Get your policy perks by calling 1-800-FARMERS. Go ahead, phone it in.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
We're watching Capitol Hill at this hour and the battle over whether to create a 9/11-style commission to investigate the deadly attack on the Capitol to try to prevent it from ever happening again. Republican leaders now pressuring Republicans to vote no. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who had said he was open to the idea, today saying he opposes it after growing pressure from former President Trump. And tonight, after that congressman in recent days who compared the insurrection, the attack on the Capitol, to a visit, a tour of the Capitol. Now the image emerging of him helping to barricade the Capitol from the rioters. ABC's Rachel Scott with late reporting from the Hill tonight.
Tonight, Senate Republican Minority Leader Mitch McConnell joining House Republican Leader Kevin McCarthy, putting pressure on Republicans to vote no on a commission to investigate the attack on the Capitol. After signaling he was open to the idea of a commission, McConnell now calling the bill slanted and unbalanced.
House Democrats have handled this proposal in partisan bad faith, going right back to the beginning.
But there were Republicans who worked with Democrats on this proposal.
The bill is passed.
Today, the bill passing on the House floor. 35 Republicans breaking from their party to support it. Now it heads to the Senate. Tonight, Democrats are warning they'll investigate with or without Republican support.
It's not a question of doing this something in addition to this. It's a question of if they don't want to do this, we will.
And it already faces fierce opposition. Former President Donald Trump, who on January 6 rallied his supporters.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Releasing this statement saying Republicans in the House and Senate should not approve of the Democrat trap of the January 6th commission. It is just more partisan unfairness. But not all Republicans agree with the former president. Republican Congressman John Katko was tasked with working with Democrats on this.
The American people expect Congress to put partisanship aside for the sake of our homeland security.
And there is a growing effort to redefine what happened that day. It was just days ago when Republican Congressman Andrew Clyde of Georgia compared the insurrection to a tourist visit.
If you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
But now this image has resurfaced. That same congressman trying to barricade the doors to stop the mob from breaking in.
All right, so let's get right to Rachel Scott up on the Hill tonight. We know lawmakers voting this evening, the House with enough votes to pass this, but in the Senate we know it will need 60 votes. So Rachel, as you always do, give us a reality check on this. Is that likely?
Well, David, tonight we are learning that some of the same Republicans who voted to convict former President Donald Trump in the Senate have said that they are open to the idea of a commission, but they do want to see some changes first. So the bottom line here tonight, it is going to be an uphill challenge for Democrats to get at least 10 Republicans on board. David?
Rachel Scott on the Hill for us again tonight. Thank you, Rachel.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Mask rules should be made at local level, CDC director said. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Aficionado. I'm a fashionista.
Sneakerhead.
The major milestone in this pandemic, 423 days after New York City shut down, of course, once the epicenter for the virus. Tonight, most COVID restrictions have now been lifted. Tonight, the mask mandate dropped for those who are vaccinated. Open for business. Here in New York, the crowds and, yes, the traffic back in Times Square. Of course, masks no longer required, though many in the city say they're going to wear them until they feel more comfortable taking them off. More people inside restaurants and in larger groups. But across the country tonight, there are still the flashpoints, the tension over some of the guidance still in place. For one, whether schools should insist that children wear masks. Tonight, the emotional arguments for and against the idea. And today, the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, was pressed on this new guidance, including one senator asking why we can go into a packed restaurant without a mask, but not on an airplane. How she answered. ABC's Eva Pilgrim leading us off.
Tonight, the original epicenter of the pandemic roaring back to a new normal, with fully vaccinated New Yorkers cleared to ditch the masks indoors and outdoors.
The bottom line is if you're vaccinated, you have more freedom.
On streets today, many were still in masks.
I'm going to keep the mask on. Why? I'm not taking any chances.
Some businesses keeping mask rules or asking for proof of vaccination. The owner of this restaurant says their customers are more comfortable dining outside.
If the staff feels comfortable, not wearing a mask, and they're vaccinated, but it's all about, their comfort zone and what they feel good about.
But across the country, a growing battle over masks as millions of children are still unvaccinated. After tempers flared at the school board meeting, the Utah House today passing a ban on mask rules in schools.
It's really about the mental health of our students.
Texas's governor is threatening to fine schools and local governments up to $1,000 if they impose mask mandates. In Florida, parents demanding schools drop masks in classrooms.
If a parent wants to have their child wear a mask to school, go for it. Just please do not mandate what my child must do.
And 10-year-old John Provenzano confronting his school board.
I feel like I can't catch my breath, and that makes me feel claustrophobic and anxious. It's really stressful.
Today, the CDC director pressed on Capitol Hill on the new mask guidance and the questions facing American families.
Does my child need to wear a mask at school? Who's the ultimate decider here? Is that the CDC? Is it the president? Is the governor?
Dr. Rochelle Walensky saying decisions should be made at the local level.
We recommended that schools not change anything for this school year because it will be hard for our youth to get fully vaccinated before the end of this school year.
And senators asking why fully vaccinated Americans can go without a mask inside a restaurant, but not on a flight.
And why is it different on an airplane as opposed to a restaurant?
There's very little choice when you board an airplane as to who's going to be sitting next to you, who's around you. And also, airplanes may be a place where we have more variance because of the travel from international places.
David, Dr. Fauci saying the vaccine lasts at least 6 months, likely longer, but that we will almost certainly need a booster sometime within the first year after being vaccinated. The CDC director says nursing home residents may be among the first to get those boosters because they were among the first to get the vaccine. Also, elderly people often do not have as robust an immune response. David?
All right, Eva Pilgrim leading us off tonight. Eva, thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now and let's go into weather. Let's take a look at the weather across the United States for this Thursday. As you can see, we have some rain near Oklahoma City and parts of Dallas as well. And we got a lot of rain up here in this part of the United States and into the border of Canada. And a little bit of snow in some parts up here in the United States. Otherwise, the rest of the United States is nice and dry. Gonna be a good day across the United States today. Not too bad of weather issues across the United States. And that is a look at your weather for this Thursday. And we are going to switch gears now. And let's take a look at this. The one where we get a first look at the Friends reunion. Let's take a look at that right now.
Más café Bustelo, café con ritmo. Dale, 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 dale. La ice, I can't survive without café. Café Bustelo estuvo in the Heights.
Now to our GMA cover story. It's the one with the Friends reunion. You got that? It's the one with the Friends reunion. I love that writing. We've got a first look at the cast revealing behind-the-scenes secrets exclusively. In the latest issue of People magazine, Amy is back. Got all the inside deets for us?
Oh, yes, I do, Robin. It's a reunion that the world has been waiting for 17 years to see. And before it hits our TV screens next week, the cast sat down with People magazine to talk about their hit show and why they will be friends forever. Take a look. It was the show that introduced us to 6 unforgettable friends.
You hide my clothes, I'm wearing everything you own.
Oh my God!
Look at me, I'm Chandler. Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Now, more than 17 years after they said goodbye,
we were on a break!
The gang reuniting for a highly anticipated special out next week on HBO Max.
Jennifer Aniston was the first to cry.
Rachel always cries!
People magazine getting in on all the behind-the-scenes action.
They meticulously recreated the sets, like the full sets. Everything was completely identical to the day they said goodbye.
The cast revealing their on-screen chemistry extended to real life.
He's her lobster.
Jennifer Aniston calling Lisa Kudrow and Courtney Cox her sisters who ate lunch together every day.
We got George Stephanopoulos' pizza! Phoebes? Who is George Stephanopoulos?
And which cast members swiped mementos from the set?
Matt LeBlanc took a I Love Friends license plate frame and he put it on David Schwimmer's car.
How you doing?
And he said that David did not realize it for a week.
Jennifer Aniston says she took a dress from Monica's closet that to this day she still wears.
What is Chandler Bing's job?
And remember that iconic trivia episode?
It has something to do with trans funding. He's a trans monster! That's not even a word!
The one where Monica and Rachel lose their apartment to Chandler and Joey? Expect a little bit of that fun in the special, too.
David asked trivia questions about the series to the other actors. They also did a table read of a partial episode, the one with the jellyfish.
Jellyfish sting! No, it hurts!
So how has this show stayed relevant all these years? Matthew Perry puts it best, saying it comes down to the stories. Friends made character-driven jokes about people, and people are going to come back time and time again and watch that. And the People magazine exclusive with the cast of Friends hits newsstands nationwide this Friday. And I got to sit down with the cast for their first on-camera interview. You can watch that next Tuesday right here on GMA. Let's say they were having a lot of fun. Like there was a lot of fun being had.
And you can tell they genuinely
100%
love each other.
And to see them all together again, it's magic.
And when you watch those clips, it just brings you back to memories.
Hear that?
You were quoting everyone that you saw there.
I can.
All right,
It was just a break. We were on a break.
We're looking forward to this interview next week. So
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Rob.
Okay, and there you go. Very cool indeed. Can't wait. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's go into entertainment news. And in entertainment news, Demi Lovato comes out as non-binary and reveals new pronunciation. Let's take a listen to that video from Entertainment Tonight.
We've never been so ready to get back out there. And with new Coppertone Sport Mineral, we can
I want to take this moment to share something very personal with you. Over the past year and a half, I've been doing some healing and self-reflective work. And through this work, I've had the revelation that I identify as non-binary.
Demi Lovato is opening up about their identity.
I focus on just what I see in the mirror, and that's a beautiful person.
The 28-year-old pop star debuted their new podcast 4D with Demi Lovato, which dropped at midnight on Wednesday, and said they are changing their pronouns.
I'll officially be changing my pronouns to they, them. I feel that this best represents the fluidity I feel in my gender expression and allows me to feel most authentic and true to the person I both know I am and still am discovering.
The performer also added this disclaimer.
I want to make it clear that I'm still learning and coming into myself, and I don't claim to be an expert or a spokesperson. I will also be accepting if people slip and say her, she, because I know that being in my position, it's going to take a while for people to get used to. I just want them to be making the effort.
Demi invited non-binary performance artist Alok on their show, noting that one of Alok's poetry shows, which they attended with musician Sam Smith, who also identifies as non-binary, helped inspire Demi's personal discovery.
It was the first time in so long that I've ever heard someone else speak my truth and then realize, oh, that's my truth too.
And for anyone who might not be familiar with the term non-binary, Alok offered some insight.
We are people who have existed for thousands of years, who actually experience ourselves outside of the idea of man or woman.
Demi added that their identity has nothing to do with how they choose to dress or, quote, present themselves.
I want people to understand that just because I'm non-binary doesn't mean I'm not going to dress the way I want.
The singer, who has been an outspoken LGBTQIA plus advocate and ally for many years, says they are aware of the backlash they may receive after this announcement. And when Alok pointed out that haters could claim Demi was sharing this news for attention or to further their career, Demi had this to say.
I could leave my career today. I'm still going to identify as non-binary tomorrow. For the first time in my life, I'm putting my well-being over my career. That's the difference in somebody, I guess, doing something for attention and versus speaking your truth is I know that not everybody is going to love that this is me and this is my truth. I know that people are going to react out of fear.
The 28-year-old, who has been open about their struggles with addiction and substance abuse, said that the lack of authenticity in their identity led to their 2018 overdose.
In 2018, when I overdosed, I feel like the reason why that happened was because I was ignoring my truth. And I was suppressing who I really am in order to please stylists or team members or this or that, or even fans that wanted me to be the sexy, feminine pop star in the leotard and look a certain way. You know, I thought that was what I was supposed to be. And now I just realize it's so much more important to live your truth than to ever suppress yourself, because that's the type of stuff that happens when you do.
Demi also referenced their 2020 short-lived engagement to actor Max Eric, which ended after 2 months.
Got engaged to a dude and was like, okay, maybe this is it, you know? And it still didn't feel right. And I knew when things didn't work out, I knew why it didn't feel right. It's because I wasn't being myself.
Following their announcement, GLAAD released a statement supporting the star and praised their work within the community. Quote, Demi has always been one of the loudest and proudest advocates for LGBTQ people and issues. In sharing their story today, they will educate countless people around the world and reach other non-binary people with a message of pride.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report, and that does it for this morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day, and see you back here later on today with more news coverage. Goodbye, everyone.